If someone had told you in 2013 that Russia would annex Crimea, most experts would have laughed. If they had added that Moscow would launch the largest war in Europe since World War II, many would have called it impossible. Yet both happened. That's why today's question matters. Not because it is likely, not because it is imminent, but because history has a habit of surprising people who are convinced they already know what comes next. Imagine a small incident near NATO territory, a cyber attack, a border provocation, a mysterious drone strike, a military exercise that suddenly goes too far. The question is not whether Russia can defeat NATO. It cannot. The real question is whether Moscow could create a situation that forces the alliance to prove its credibility. Because deterrence only works until someone decides to test it. At first glance, it makes no sense. NATO is larger, richer, and collectively far stronger than Russia. But great powers do not always challenge opponents because they expect victory. Sometimes they do it because they doubt the opponent's willingness to respond. During the Cold War, the central fear was never military weakness. It was uncertainty. Would the alliance really act when the costs became real? NATO's most famous promise is simple. An attack against one member is considered an attack against all. On paper, that sounds absolute. In reality, every crisis comes with questions. Was it intentional? Who is responsible? What counts as an attack? How much force is enough? A clever challenge does not target tanks or missiles first. It targets hesitation. It targets confusion. It targets time. This is why military planners often focus on the Baltic region. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania sit directly on NATO's frontier with Russia. They are fully protected by the alliance, yet their geography creates unique vulnerabilities. Any crisis there would instantly become a test of NATO's resolve. Not because the countries are weak, but because the political consequences of hesitation would be enormous. Many people imagine a future crisis as columns of tanks crossing borders. Modern competition is often more subtle. Cyber attacks can disrupt infrastructure. Disinformation can create panic. Sabotage can blur responsibility. The objective may not be territorial conquest. It may simply be to discover where the alliance's red lines actually are. Sometimes, the most important battle happens before a single shot is fired. Unlike Ukraine in 2022, NATO members are bound by formal defense commitments. A challenge against one ally would immediately trigger consultations across Europe and North America. Military forces would move. Air patrols would expand. Naval deployments would increase. The alliance trains constantly for exactly these scenarios. The goal would not be escalation. The goal would be convincing Moscow that escalation cannot succeed. The danger is not that Russia conquers NATO. The danger is miscalculation. One side believes the other will back down. The other believes the signal is clear. History is filled with crises that began because leaders interpreted the same situation differently. When major powers misunderstand each other, small events can suddenly become very large ones. Here is the paradox. The strongest alliances are often tested precisely because they appear strong. If nobody ever challenges a commitment, nobody truly knows where its limits are. That is why deterrence requires constant demonstration. Exercises, deployments, signals, diplomacy. The objective is not to prepare for war. It is to make war look like the worst possible option. So, what if Russia tests NATO again? The alliance would probably hold. Its military power, economic weight, and political reach remain overwhelming. But the lesson from Crimea and Ukraine is not that predictions are useless. It is that certainty is dangerous. The scenarios that reshape history often begin as ideas most people dismiss. And that is exactly why policymakers spend so much time preparing for events they hope never happen.